Hello, welcome back. Again, you can see we're under the car, finishing up our fuel injection system. The kit comes with a vent tube, a breather to vent the tank. It has to be mounted higher than the tank. So last night I built this little bracket. I just took some flat metal, put a 90 in it, drilled the holes in it, and I'm only putting it together. We'll put it together up there, but I have to find a spot to mount it. I'm thinking right up in here, above the axle, and it looks like that will work. So pull this out. So we're just going to mount it with 2 screws. So let me grab our drill and we did drill a little bit of a pilot hole just to make it a little easier on ourselves. And good and secure. And this just feeds up through. So I'm going to put this, it's notched in here with the vent. So I'm going to hold that towards the back and we'll tighten it up there. Make sure we got the right one. Again, we're using these take and we'll attach it to this with the A-zip tie. Okay, so that basically finishes, I believe, everything under the car. We got to put gas in the tank and finish up front. We'll jump to that point. We'll finish up front. We'll lower the car down. I'm gonna make sure we've got everything, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're ready to finish up our fuel injection system. We did build this out. As I said, I didn't read the instructions, but you do have to have a regulator, so we got the regulator. We did put on the 3 feeds, so these top 2 are either way, either direction, doesn't matter. The bottom one is the return. That one's the only one that matters, and we did put a gauge on it so we can make sure our fuel pressure is okay with our fuel injection system. And go ahead and get these screws out. Throw them in our little magnetic tray. And then we've got to decide where we're going to mount it. I'm thinking we're going to come down right over here and move our stuff here out of the way. Wiring. And that, I think we'll come right down here on this fender well. These are our hoses, so we'll just run those up. But I'm thinking somewhere in here. Maybe even come up, clear up into here, so we can see our gauge easier. And then our hose will run over. We'll hook it onto this and run it up through the front. I'll show you what we did on that as well. So, this was another part that we ordered. You can make it yourself, but it does require to feed both inlets. So we bought this from Holly, and it's just a cable or a feed tube we hook onto here, and it feeds both of our inlets. So this mounts to this bracket, and we'll just kind of decide where that needs to go. I'm thinking somewhere right in there. Okay, so we got our regulator in. It was a little bit of a fight, but we got it. Tighten up this hose clamp. Okay. So this red wire needs to go to a switched, but we also need to run our little monitor screen. It's fine. So we're going to set our fuel injector on here. because we got to measure our hose. And before we do that, we need to grab our new gasket. You just want to make sure we're sealed all the way around, we're good. Hey. You can pull it back off, maybe. Because we need to hook up 2 vacuum lines. Got one here that'll go to our distributor. One in the back here goes to our power brakes. This car has been converted over to disc brakes. Because these are a little difficult to get to, I'm going to put them on. And then we'll set it down. Brakes. Run all our cables out the back. And I can get to that front one, so we'll put this on before we tighten down. So that is the vacuum advance of the distributor. If you've never run that on an HEI, I highly recommend it. It allows you to set a early timing, like 8 degrees, 7 degrees at idle, but allows it to run at, this is a distributor I built. Using a Summit Racing kit, it'll allow up to about a 35 degree change. And we're just going to put these down, kind of put it in its spot. And throttle pedal's looking good. We can adjust that a little if we need to. I like to use these studs, especially in an aluminum intake. If you're taking bolts in and out, it doesn't take long to have your thread stripped, so I like to use these studs. Okay. Got that done. Now it doesn't matter which hose we use, because we're just going to run one. So we'll go from our regulator there. Two more clamps. Okay. And then I do have in here, move some of this out of the way. I do have this coolant hose, so I'm thinking I'll zip tie it. Actually changed the plan. That is actually a heater hose, and so we do not want to attach to it because it'll add warm fuel to our car. And you'll get more power out of cold fuel than warm fuel. Right, nice over here. Okay, that has us all plumbed. Fuel injection's on. We'll go ahead and figure out our wiring here. And we know this one here. We're going to bring it down through here, keep it nice and clean looking. It plugs here into our coolant sensor. Yeah. Got that one. These, they're good when they click. And we got this one that is our O2 sensor. And all of these only have one way they can go on. Clicked. We'll hide that wire here in a minute. This pink one we still have to wire up. Our last one is this one. It's a big plug. We only needed one wire to run our tachometer. And so we'll worry about this cleanup in a minute. Drop these down. Okay. So wiring. Red wire, this is the positive cable. So we'll grab our cutters, crimpers. Again, the ground and power wire do have to run directly to your battery. So we bought these new cables that have the pigtails on them so that we can just connect them here at the pigtail. this one goes to our ground. We'll leave it full length. We're not going to hook up our battery just yet. We've still got that pink wire to run and the screen that we'll have to use to program this. So we'll go with that for a minute. We'll come back and we'll route our other 2 wires that we need, hook them up, and then we should be pretty close to ready to fire. We still have to hook up our PCV valve. We have to get an adapter to hook it up. Before it was hooked into the carburetor, now we've got to run it directly into the manifold, just because we don't want to run a T for our brakes. It's a point of failure, so we don't want to do that. So we'll hook it, you can run them directly into a vacuum side of the manifold. So we have to get an adapter for that, then we'll be able to fire it. Thanks.
Welcome back. We're in the process now of drilling a hole through the glove box to put the computer attachment in. We'll drill it. We've got to drill it big enough for this to go through, so, and this plugs in out to the front, so we got to go through the firewall. So we're going to drill this now and get it started through there, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we drilled us a smaller hole. Now we're going to use this step bit to make it bigger. Okay, we got that hole drilled. Now all we gotta do is feed it through the firewall.
No, I know where the hole is because I dealt with it earlier. Want to detangle this. Basically what this is once it's powered, it's a touch screen for, entering our beginning information such as timing, how much horsepower we're running, a few little things, V8, whether it's V8, V6, V4. There's just a little bit of setup, and then this actually will monitor, make sure our coolant temperature's coming up. It's got a lot of gauges to be able to check things. Okay. Going to kind of coil this. Set this in here. Make sure we're not catching it. And you go fill through on the other side.
Yeah.
So as we said, we had this pink wire we needed to run. The reason we didn't is because we knew this one had to come through and we need to put a grommet in the firewall. So we held off on that until we got this one in. Okay, get over there. Another grommet, and we'll feed this pink wire back through that grommet. And we'll go back to the car. Okay, I'll grab my crimpers. Okay, so this red wire is a switched ground, or switched positive. So it will turn on when the car key turns on. That will activate our fuel injection system. And it was originally with our carburetor, our electric choke, so we knew what it was, we knew what it did. I am leaving these long. We have one more thing we're going to do with this car, which is we're going to replace this radio. Quite frankly, I'm just tired of fighting it. It looks very nice, but it doesn't work very well. You'll be going down the road and it'll just, shut off. And it has a CD player, which, old technology. If we can get this wire to strip nicely, we'll use it. There we go. Okay, tug test. So once we do that, when we do the radio, I'll clean up all this wiring, mount it up in there nice. But it is a nice radio. It looks good, but you'll just be driving down the road and it'll just quit, and it's just not not quite there. The one we're going to put in is from Retro Sound. It also has Bluetooth, so you can run, you know, Pandora, phone calls and stuff through it. You know, play through the radio like a modern car. Also, this one has it too, but I do a lot with USB, so just MP3s on USB. We'll show it to you installed. We'll show you the install of it as well. But we can't play it for you due to YouTube's licensing agreement. We don't own the property. We don't own the songs, so we can't play songs for you. So we'll get back to you on that one. But we are going to put a little fuel in the car, and I believe we'll make sure everything's hooked up, everything's good to go. We'll pull out our screen here, and I believe we'll hook up our battery and such, and we'll be ready to run it.